Hello YouTube, today I'm going to be showing you how to pull information down in your PHP script from your MySQL server. So here you can see my PHP MyAdmin pulled up on my computer. Within PHP MyAdmin I've created a database called test, and within that database there is a table called fruits, and in there I've just got apple, banana, orange and grape, and a small description of each one, along with a auto incrementing ID for each one as well. So to do this tutorial, we're first going to need to open up a new PHP document in your favourite text editor. Mine is context. I will leave a link to download context in the description if you want to. So first of all, what I'm going to do is, because we want to bring information down from the database, I'm going to make a small example where you can input like the name of the fruit, like apple, banana, orange or grape, and it will display the description of each one. So I'm not going to build a form or anything because this is a PHP tutorial, but I'm going to create a variable and just call it fruit. Sorry, I can't type today. Then I'm going to say equals, and now I can put whatever fruit I want in there. You could have this as like a form or something, so the user enters in something like a name of a user to search, or a product or something. But this is a PHP tutorial, so I'm just going to have it so I enter the name of the fruit in there in my script. So next I need to connect to the server, and to do that I've already done a tutorial on this, but we need to call the function MySQL connect, and I'm going to say or die as well. To give out an error message if it can't connect, and that'll be cannot connect to the server. And in my MySQL connect statement, I'm just going to type in my credentials, which for me is localhost, as I'm running XAMPP, root and no password. So that should connect us to the server at localhost with username root and a password of nothing, or it should give us an error message saying cannot connect to the server. So if we run this now, if everything's working fine, we should just get a blank page. If we've done something wrong, we should get an error. So let's refresh, and we've got a blank page. We know that everything's fine and there's been no errors. So next we're going to select the database, and that'll be MySQL, select DB or die, and say if it can't do that, cannot find database. Okay, and a database name is obviously, as I showed you earlier, test. So I'm going to refresh this again. The beauty of doing it like this is, if you keep checking it throughout, you know if you've made a typo or something, or a mistake, you know exactly where it is. So I'm just going to go back to my browser and refresh. If we get a blank page, then it's fine, which we have. So it's successfully connected to the server and the database. So next we need to run the query, and we do this by calling a function called MySQL_query. It's a bit like the connect and the select DB. In fact, we have two parentheses, and then we can just chuck an or die on the end as well. So essentially kills the script and doesn't execute anything else if there's a problem. So we put or die, the query could not be completed. Okay, and we'll type in here. This is where our actual query goes. So I'm going to put select, which basically intended to pull information instead of like updating it or deleting it or inserting. Asterisk, which means insert everything in that row from. So we've connected to the database here, so we need to specify the name of the table on that database, which is fruits. Select everything from fruits. Now we're going to put a condition, which is where the name, because if we go back to my database structure here, we can see this is called name here, and that's the name of the fruit. So where the name of the fruit, is equal to, and then we'll put single and do $fruit, as that is the name of our variable that we've just assigned up here. So going through the script again, we're assigning the variable fruit to whatever we put in these quotation marks here. Then we're connecting to the server, so we're saying connect, the host is localhost, the username is root, and the password is nothing. And if you can't manage that, and then don't execute anything else and display cannot connect to the server. Next is saying select the database called test on the server we've connected to, or if it can't find that, then kill the script, don't execute anything else, and say cannot find the database. Then we're saying run the MySQL query, and if you can't, and then don't execute anything else and say the query cannot be completed. And the query is saying select everything from fruits. So this fruits again is our table name, the name of our table in PHP MyAdmin. We're giving a condition here saying where name, which is the name of my column here, where name is equal to our variable of fruit. Okay, so we're just going to run this and make sure we don't get any error messages. We shouldn't do. Nope, no error messages, so we know everything's working okay at the moment. Okay, so we're going to begin to get a little bit more advanced here, because we're going to do things like exploding the array and things with, given by the database. We need to give this query a variable name, which I'm just going to call it query. So first we need some sort of method if there's no matches in the database. In other words, I enter something in here just like that, that's not in this name field for any, then we want to display an error message saying, you know, no fruits could be found under that name. So we can do this very simply in PHP by saying if, this is an if statement we're starting here, and then we're opening and closing our curly braces. I'm going to put if MySQL num rows, which translates to the MySQL number of rows, for, we're going to open and close parenthesis again, and we're going to put the variable name of our query in here, which for me is just query. So if MySQL num rows a query equals 0, in other words, no matches were found, we can echo, actually in fact we'll kill the script here, and we'll just say no matches were found for that fruit name. Okay, so we're closing the curly brace here, which means nothing else will be executed if that happens. So after our curly brace, assuming that so basically now if this is carried out by the PHP interpreter, it knows that there's been something returned by the query. In other words, the name of the fruit that we assigned up here, there is a row under that name. So now what we need to do is we need to when MySQL returns its results, when the query returns its results, it returns it in an associative array. So we need to get that associative array and translate it into variables that we can use in PHP. The way we do this is we use a while loop, which cycles through it for each row. Open close curly braces again, and we're going to say MySQL fetch array, because it's fetching the array of, then we're going to open close curly braces again, and we're going to say query, because that's the name of our query, and then put a comma, and we're going to say MySQL assoc to show that it's an associative array. So that basically is returning turning what was returned, is fetching the array that was returned, so we can now work with that array that was returned from the database. So now we can simply, sorry, I missed something out here. We need to put here something like $row, assigning that a variable to, so we can gather the results that we've got back. So I'm just going to gather the $fruit, sorry, $name I'm just going to call it. This is the variables we're assigning now. So I'm just going to $name equals $row, because that's what we called this bit here, $row. And then we're just going to get a part out of the array here, which is name. So this corresponds to the row in our database, sorry, the column in our database. And then we also want to fetch the description from the database, which will be, as you know now, $row description, as I have a column in my database with the heading description, which is a description of the fruit. So now we've got those assigned, what I'm going to do is move out of the while loop and say here echo, so we're telling it to give some sort of output to the user, fruit equals, we're just going to say the name of the fruit, which is $name, description equals, whoops, $description. Now you'll see what this does when I show it to you in the browser now. So if we've got the the variable fruit is now assigned to nothing. So surely if that's assigned to nothing, we should get this error back saying, sorry, here, if MySQL num rows of the query is 0, we should get this error message back saying no matches are found for that fruit name because this variable hasn't been assigned. So let's refresh the page and see. Pass error, syntax error, no match is found for on line 10. Let's have a little look what we've done wrong here. Okay, let's reconstruct this and say no matches. And then refresh again. Okay, yeah, the same, we've got no matches here. So we are now, sorry, let me change this to echo from that. echo no matches. Okay, that's better to see. We've got no matches here. And then after this, sorry guys, and then here we want to exit the script because we don't want to go on any further if the number of rows returned from the query is 0. So let's save this and refresh, and we can see we just get no matches now, which is perfect. So that's why it's good to put the error messages in, because then you can see. But no matches, that's exactly what we wanted. Now if we put in this fruit name something like apple, if we go in and look here, we can see that apple does have a description and it is present in the database. So if we refresh, see we get fruit equals apple, description equals a red or green spherical fruit that contains juice and has a hard core in the middle that attaches it to the plant, which is the description that we have in our database. So let's try it with another one. Let's try it with banana this time. So all we have to do is change this to banana and see if that works, which it does. Fruit equals banana, description equals a long yellow fruit which needs to be peeled before eating, enjoyed by humans and monkeys, grown on trees, which we can see is the description here in PHP We'll try orange as well. So let's go and edit this string to orange. We should get the result for orange returned. Fruit equals orange, description equals a small orange spherical fruit which contains several segments, can be squashed to make orange juice. We'll try another one, which will be grape. And we'll refresh here. Fruit equals grape, description equals a small oval fruit which is usually red or green, juicy on the inside, can be left to ferment to make wines. Now if we try typing something in there that's not in the database, so if we try typing in peach, then it won't work. It will give us our error that there's been no matches because we haven't got that in a database. So if we try that, see we get no matches. And now if we go ahead and add peach to our database and give it a random description, because we haven't got time to type out a proper one, and then press go, that's inserted there. So if we refresh, we should get fruit equals peach, description equals random description, which is exactly what we've got in our database. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I've showed you how to pull things down from a database using the where condition. If you need any help trying to adapt this to your scenario, then please leave a comment down below and I'll make another video for you showing you how to do specifically what you're asking. Also don't forget to subscribe to see our other tutorials that will be out very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.